Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failer. In our last video, we did 100 straight taxi drop-offs. This video is all about robberies. So in a previous video, we did the 7 robberies over on the Western Island, and in this video, we'll tackle the 8 remaining robberies, all of which are here on the Eastern Island. Recall that to do a robbery, you have to go into one of these 15 specific stores and point a weapon that has a reticle, that little circle thing in the middle of the screen, at the store clerk. And then you have to hold that until at least one pile of cash has been put onto the counter by the clerk. And at that point, you can run away, or you can shoot the clerk, or you can keep pointing the gun at the clerk for more money. But as soon as you get that first pile of cash on the counter, you get credit for the robbery, and that counts towards your 100% completion in the game. And in the previous robberies video, the challenge that I set forth for myself was to tackle all 7 of the robberies on the Western Island in one straight shot, one straight run with no saving in between, where I was non-violent. I was a pacifist, so I would aim my gun at the store clerk, and I would get credit for the robbery, but then I wouldn't shoot them. I would just run out of the store and continue to the next store. Meanwhile, I had 3 stars of police attention, starting with that first store that I robbed on the Western Island. And the other rules that I set forth for myself to add to the challenge was I was going to keep pointing my gun at the clerk until they had deposited the maximum amount of cash on the counter, which is 4 piles of cash, which total $1,000. And then I would gather that $1,000 and leave. Additionally, I decided I wasn't going to pick up any health or armor along the way, and I also wasn't going to go through any bribe stars. So just trying to be pure as I go through as I went through the 7 robberies over on the Western Island, and we're going to do that same challenge here. So all 8 robberies consecutively, no health, no armor pickups, no bribe stars, and maximum cash for each one, which again means $1,000 added every time I pick up the cash at the end of a robbery. So now I'll show you my requisite fails compilation before I show you me passing this challenge. Here, I don't know what happened. It seems like, so I got 3 piles of cash, but before the 4th one came up, the guy ducked down and pulled the alarm. And they do that if you stop aiming at them, but I've watched this clip and I think I was aiming at them the whole time. Here, I'm going to get busted. I didn't realize there was a wall right in front of the police car that I was getting into. And here, I don't know why the alarm got triggered. It seemed like I was pointing at him the whole time. And in this next one, things were going pretty well until I decided to try to escape the police on the Pizza Boy moped when there was a police officer nearby, and the Pizza moped has very poor acceleration. I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to blaze right past this guy. No chance he knocks me off my bike. All right, so here's my final attempt at this. And at the start, I will show you the statistics menu just to show you that we still have only the credit for the 7 stores knocked off over on the Western Island from that previous video. And so now I'll show you uninterrupted, unsped up my final attempt at this, trying to get through all 8 of these robberies without using any bribe stars or health pickups or armor pickups. And I will try to be nonviolent, although I think a few folks got run over. It's just the cost of doing business. Okay, so while we watch my attempt here, I'll read from the main wiki page, like the main GTA Vice City wiki page. I've read a little bit from here in a previous video, so I'll pick up where I left off, rereading just a couple of sentences here at the start, talking about the art style of the game. The game's look, particularly the clothing and vehicles, reflect its 1980s setting. Many themes are borrowed from the films Scarface and Carlito's Way. The television series Miami Vice was also a major influence and was regularly watched by the team throughout development. The art team was provided with large volumes of research, as well as reference photographs from other members of the development team. The team organized field research trips to Miami shortly after the development of GTA 3, splitting into small teams and observing the streets. I just think that's so cool that they decided to head all the way down to Florida and take pictures and do research and really bring the living, breathing Miami, city of Miami, into to this game. It's awesome. The next section in the wiki is called Story and Characters. The team spent time, quote, solving the riddle, end quote, of a speaking protagonist, a notable departure from GTA 3's silent protagonist, Claude. Ray Liotta portrayed protagonist Tommy Vercetti. Liotta described the role as challenging. Quote, "You're creating a character that's not there before. It's so intensive." When recording the role, the team used blue screen in order to allow Liotta to visualize, quote, how it's going to move. The team ensured that the player felt, quote, real affinity for Tommy, making the narrative a key development interest. Dan Houser, he's one of the creators, one of the, like, I don't know, some creators of Rockstar and one of the founders of these GTA games. Dan Houser described Tommy as, quote, strong and dangerous and prepared to wait for the right opportunity to arrive. Director Naveed Kansari recalled Liotta frequently complaining on set and found him difficult to work with as a result. Quote, in some sessions he was into it, but then sometimes he was very dark and couldn't work. Actually sounds perfect for somebody playing the role of Tommy Vercetti, who can be quite dark. That was a quote from Sam Houser. Following the game's success, Liotta reportedly complained that he was underpaid for the role. Okay, so here we are, finally made it out of the mall, and nobody spawned in that dispensary, so we need to come back there. The dispensary is the only place where I found no store clerk every time. In fact, there were several times where there was nobody spawning in the dispensary, and yeah, I don't know if it's a glitch or whatever, but that one was unique. The store clerk was always there for the other 7 places in my attempts here, but multiple times he wasn't there in the dispensary. Okay, the majority of the game's animations were original, with only a few borrowed from GTA 3. For the characters, the team used motion capture and stop motion animation techniques. Cutscenes used motion capture, while gameplay movements use a combination of both of the techniques. The team encountered difficulty in animating motorcycle animations, due in part to the variety of models. That's interesting. Right, because there were no motorcycles in GTA 3, so it's a different kind of animation. When the person's driving, all they have to do is put the person in a static position in the driver's seat, and then animate their hands a little bit when they turn the wheel, and then animate their head when they look left or right to do a drive-by. So here, the guy spawned, but then I got unlucky. Was there like an explosion that shook the whole camera and therefore made it seem like I wasn't aiming at him anymore? So we got to come back to that place for a third time. Pedestrian character models use skins in Vice City, allowing the artists to produce more realistic characters. So here I tried to drive away and come back, and I think I didn't go far enough away. Anybody here? Nope. No. Okay, we're going to come back there for a 4th time. There are 110 unique pedestrian models throughout the game world, alongside roughly 50 story characters. Wow, 110. I had no idea. Each character is rendered using twice the amount of polygons and textures found in GTA 3. This also impacts the character physics, improving gameplay aspects such as weapon hit accuracy. Some character models and scenarios were inspired by films such as The Godfather, and the game's presentation was inspired by action TV shows of the 1980s. The interplay between Tommy Vercetti and Lance Vance was crafted to be similar to the relationship of Miami Vice's Sonny Crockett and Ricardo Tubbs. Those were the 2 main characters of the TV show Miami Vice, and in fact, the guy who voices Lance Vance is one of these guys, Ricardo Tubbs, the one who played one of the main characters in Miami Vice. The game features 8,000 lines of recorded dialogue, 4 times the amount in GTA 3. It contains over 90 minutes of cutscenes and 9 hours of music, with more than 113 songs and commercials. The team was interested in the challenge of creating the game's soundtrack, particularly in contrast to GTA 3's music, which Sam Houser described as clearly satirical in its own thing. Yeah, so it's this Vice City soundtrack has almost exclusively songs that had already been previously recorded, as opposed to GTA 3, where quite a few of the songs were created specifically for that game. In developing the radio stations, the team wanted to reinforce the game's setting by collating a variety of songs from the 1980s, and therefore they performed extensive research into the music. The radio stations were published by Epic Records in 7 albums known collectively as Grand Theft Auto Vice City Official Soundtrack Box Set, alongside the game in October 2002. Vice City contains about, quote, 3 times as much talk radio as GTA 3. Producer and talk show host Laszlo Jones stated that the small percentage of station listeners that actually call in are, quote, insane. In Vice City, the team, quote, bumped it up a notch, emphasizing the extreme. Dan Houser felt that the talk stations give depth to the game world. Indeed, they do. We'll talk all about the radio stations in depth in future videos. Settings and influence, next section in the wiki. How are we doing here with my robberies? I think I gotta head back to that one that we've already been to like 4 times. GTA Vice City is arguably the most heavily influenced Grand Theft Auto game, taking inspiration from a wide range of classic 1980s movies, TV programs, and music. Perhaps the closest real life counterpart to GTA Vice City is the TV series Miami Vice. All right, so this is the one that's been giving us all kinds of trouble. Please, 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 no whammies. Let's make this happen. Oh yeah, this was the explosion. Remember I mentioned that there was an explosion. It was here. That's not my fault, gang. It's not my fault. What was I supposed to do about that? In the previous video where I did robberies, I gave the robberies a grade of 8 out of 10. I find them quite enjoyable, although I was a little frustrated with that one dispensary that I'm now going to have to return to a 5th time. So we're just circling the block, hoping to respawn a clerk who isn't, suffering from PTSD from being robbed several times in the last few minutes. Okay, so getting back to the wiki, the closest real-life counterpart to Vice City is the TV series Miami Vice. Aside from the broad-ranging similarities, that is 80s music including new wave, hip-hop, R&B, soul, glam metal, and synthesizer pop, there's also organized crime and drug trafficking and styled cars and pastel clothes, etc. All right, this guy, not here. Goodness gracious, probably a good idea for him to take the rest of the day off. For example, now it's talking about specific references between the TV show Miami Vice and this game. At a 3-star wanted level or above, the player will be chased by 2 undercover police officers named Cracker and Butts, B-U-T-T-S, who strongly resemble Sonny Crockett and Ricardo Tubbs, the 2 main characters of the TV show Miami Vice. So instead of Sonny Crockett, it's Cracker, and instead of Ricardo Tubbs, it's Butts. Tubbs and Butts are kind of mirrors of each other. Furthermore, these officers in the game drive a VCPD Cheetah, which is itself styled after the 1986 Ferrari Testarossa, Crockett's car in the last 3 seasons of the show. Cool. Another direct link to Miami Vice is the inclusion of Crockett's theme, a piece of instrumental music from the show, on the in-game radio station Emotion 98.3. Hey, bud, I'm back. Can we just get this done? I want to wrap up this video. Many other popular songs that were used in Miami Vice are featured on the game's radio stations, including Self Control by Laura Branigan, Turn Up the Radio by Autograph, and Missing You by John Waite. The musical similarities extend to the background score composed specifically for the game. Many cutscenes and the end credits feature ambient, synth-heavy tracks very much in the style of Jan Hammer, who provided the background music for the show, while the theme from Vice City is comparable to Hammer's Miami Vice theme. Cool. Okay, gang, finally, we made it. And now to get rid of my wanted level, I'm not going to use my Quicksave program because that's cheating. I'll use a legitimate save, which doesn't get rid of the wanted level, but then if I just load the save I just made, that does get rid of the wanted level. And so here we are, mission accomplished. So next we'll pull up the stats and show you that we are indeed done. 15 out of 15 stores knocked off. Fantastic. So the only other thing we're going to do here in this video is refill our health because we tanked 95 hit points during those 8 robberies. So just around the corner is just south of where we are is an armor spawn right next to like a tiki torch, and it's underneath a hut, like a thatched roof hut. All right. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about robberies. Like I mentioned, I give them an 8 out of 10. Pretty good stuff. Let us know if you enjoy them or if you struggle with them. We'd love to hear from you. So let's go ahead and save, and then we'll show you the save file name and wrap this video up. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.